employment services, which means I'm one of the people that's gonna get you a job, right? If you're looking for one, right? I'm gonna help you, assist you, be a resource for you in that process. Today, I know you guys have covered probably a lot of ground. You probably did resumes and stuff, all that good stuff already. So I got the less interesting topic today. I got references. What do I mean by references? People that vouch.
People who can vouch for you.
People that cover for you. What do you got?
Say good words.
People that could vouch for you.
Yeah,
Same thing?
Other employers that could say that you've done good.
Other employers that can say that you've done good. Any other ideas of what a reference is?
anyone that you can refer back to get some kind of background on.
Someone that can provide background information about you?
Yeah.
Those are all really good answers.
Referrals?
Referral, same thing, reference, referral. I like something that he said, what did you say? A good,
Yeah, from the employers.
a
that you-
good reference, right? Something good about you. Because what potentially can an employer say about you? Think about it. Seriously. What if you're left under bad circumstances, right? It's happened to me.
They used to call out all the time.
Used to call out,
Late every day.
you was late. What else?
Can't get along coworkers.
Can't get along with coworkers,
Short fuses.
right? What else?
Not doing the work.
Not doing the work. So there's a variety of reasons that you really want to be careful on who you pick to be that reference, right? What is an employer allowed to say, and what is an employer not allowed to say? Anybody know?
Well, as far as I know, an employer can give you a good reference, but they can't necessarily give you a bad reference. They're going to say that you worked at this, and you started working at this time, and you ended your employment at this time.
You're very close, right? New York State is one of the few states that has no law governing what they can and cannot say. However, there are laws against defamation, okay? So in other words, what they say must be true, and they must be able to prove it. There's got to be some kind of record of it, right? So, in other words, if I had a drug problem, and I was showing up to work high, or alcohol, I was showing up to work drunk, right? And they got rid of me. They could say, a year later, I go to get this new job, check it out, I'm clean, I'm doing good, I went to rehab, everything's hunky-dory, right? I need a reference. I give them the name and the reference where I work, and they decide, okay, we're gonna call. And they call, my employer to say, hate to say it, but came to work high and drunk a lot. Am I getting that job? Maybe if I'm a drug counselor, maybe, right? KSAC or something. But probably not gonna get that job. Not a big deal, because what they said was true. And there was people there to verify it, and there was probably documentation of it. And when I got fired, there was probably documentation of that. I probably wasn't eligible for unemployment, all these things. Now, what happens if I wasn't an alcoholic or a drug addict? And they said that.
They're trying to assassinate your character.
They're trying to assassinate my character. I'm not getting that job. It could have been somebody at the job that didn't like me, like my supervisor, and they're the one who did the rabbit. They didn't like me, didn't get along with me. They were jealous of me, because I'm a handsome fellow, right? And they were jealous, right? What's that? That's defamation. Remember what I said, that term, defamation? They're trying to defame your name, your character, your presence, who you are, right? We're not jacking that. That's against the law.
That's against the law?
That's against the law.
Wow.
It's very similar to you hear about it when people say certain things about celebrities that aren't true, and the celebrity gets $20 million because they lie. It's a very similar thing, and usually it only relates to people in the public eye that are of a certain socio-economic status. But with defamation, in this sense, it applies to anybody. Alright, so you don't have to be famous or rich to be, for your name to be tarnished, okay? How do you get a good reference? Any ideas on that? How do you go about getting a good reference?
Well, for me personally, I would always ask, before I put you down as a reference, to make sure that if anyone ever called you about me, you would always be on deck.
I like that you said that. That's a very, very important thing. Call to make sure that they're willing to do it, right? There's nothing worse than putting the person's name and number and information down on that reference form, and they're not even expecting to get a call or something about you, and they do out of the blue. And here's the thing, you thought you were cool with that person, but guess what? They weren't cool with you. Uh-oh. Right? You getting that job? Nope. So, the best thing to do is to contact them, whether it's in writing, whether it's a phone call, text message, whatever it is. Hey, I'm looking for a new job. Would you be willing to give me a reference? How do you feel I was as an employee? Tell me the truth. I want to hear it. Okay, so you think I was a good worker? Are you willing to share that with an employer if I provide you as a reference, right? They're gonna let you know, right? Granted, you never know. At the end of the day, somebody could say yes and then say something else. But usually, you kind of get a good sense of who you were and what you did when you was at that other location, at that other employer's location, right? So you know kind of where you stand. I'm not gonna lie, I have an employer, we didn't have a good relationship. Ended on a bad note. Started great, ended on a bad note. I don't share that particular reference. Alright, I just keep that one to myself. Okay? Because I don't wanna walk into a situation where I'm looking for a position, I'm looking for a job, I'm looking to make money again, and that could derail the whole thing, right? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pick the best references I have, people that have seen the best side of me, right?
Can I have a question? I have
Yeah,
a question.
sure.
Do you need a lot of references?
No. 9 out of 10 times, they'll ask for anywhere between 1 and 3. 3 seems to be like the magic number. I don't know why that is. It's just,
Good, the bad.
I guess if one is good and one is bad, they go with a third to be the tiebreaker. That's what I'm thinking. You all right? 2 out of 3.
So your reference, you gotta be at your job?
What's up?
You gotta be at a past job you worked in?
Yeah, past jobs.
So it can't be a church,
Well,
community?
Oh, no.
Yeah, it
So
depends.
it depends, right? They'll specify a professional reference, a personal reference, right? Sometimes an educational reference. So right now, I applied for a new master's program, and they wanted a personal reference. And I asked them, well, can it be a professor? And they said, sure. Even though he was my educational kind of reference, I know him personally too. So yeah, I was allowed to do that. Sometimes they want a professional reference, which means you're not putting your dad, not putting your brother-in-law, not putting your sister. It's gotta be somebody that you had workings with, okay, a relationship with in the workplace, in the workforce. It doesn't have to be somebody you work with. It could be, I'm an employment specialist for Fortune Society. However, I deal with other organizations, right? Employers that are looking to hire you guys, right? I built a relationship. I know the employer, the hiring manager. That hiring manager whom I deal with every day, I could use them as a reference because they know how I work, right? It's not just gonna be my boss. Because which my boss don't like me? But I'm still good at what I do, right? I'm still good at what I do. I'm gonna go to another professional reference, right? Any questions?
What is the character?
Character? It's kind of like the personal. It's more talking about your character as a human being. Like, they can't speak to how hard you work, but they can speak to, he's a very pleasant person, cordial, never seems to have a bad temper, right? Respectful of others, speaks nicely, is not intimidating, right? That's kind of like your character, right? Your general character. You can kind of tell after 3 minutes of getting to know somebody just by being right here. In 3 minutes, you guys have all made a judgment call about me. Probably, if I'm assuming correctly, you probably all think I'm very funny, that I'm very smart, and very handsome.
Still,
Alright?
not even one of
So,
them. Not even.
so anyway, in 3 minutes time, literally, you can kind of gauge a little bit about somebody, right? You get to know them, and that's kind of the thing that they're getting out of a character reference. To me, the character reference is the weakest one. What I like to get is the education that you have, right? Or the professional reference, employment reference, that's the good one. Because that's really what they care about. Like, is he gonna be a good employee? Is she gonna be a good employee? Is she gonna show up? Is he gonna be the guy that calls out sick all the time? You can kind of gauge some of that between the resume and the reference. Somewhere in between is the truth, right? It's kind of like, you know, you tell one person this thing, you tell the other, and they're like, somewhere in the middle is the truth, right? That's kind of what they're trying to do. They're trying to use the information they have to make a judgment on you, not a personal judgment, just a judgment whether or not you're good to hire. Tips for choosing the best reference. So we already covered asking your manager or past boss, right? When to ask anyone other than your manager. So, I kind of covered this in light strokes. If you've had issues with the manager, that's the time you kind of, maybe we can go to somebody else within the organization. Could be the director, right? Above that manager, because they may have a good relationship. Could be a manager from another department that just you interact with often enough that they can make that up. Okay? Sometimes it can be your peers, right? Your peers can offer a reference because they probably work the most with you. The only thing is with your peer, it's not going to be treated with the same amount of respect as a reference from your boss, right? Okay? Several references, right? Try to get several. Even if they're only asking for one, you should ask 2 or 3 people, and let them know you'd like to see a copy of it first, and then you select which one you feel is the most emblematic of who you are, right? So, recent application I threw out there, I asked my professor in college, a peer from my last job, and a supervisor from this job, to see who has the best reference, who wrote the best, nicest things about me. Not even just the nicest thing.
Which one sounds the best?
Who made me look like the best employee, or put me in the best position possible for this new employer to hire. Okay? And that's the one I said, let me use this one. And then I went and said, hey, I appreciate what you wrote. I would like to use your reference. Expect a phone call, an email, or a text from my new employee, my new potential employee. Right? Networking. What's networking?
Online stuff.
Go ahead. It could be. Networking is definitely something
Sharing
online.
information amongst other people.
Sharing information amongst people. Okay. Networking. What's networking? Come on.
Word of mouth.
Word of mouth about what?
Gathering,
About professionalism?
gathering.
What's your idea of networking? Exchanging numbers. Why? Why would you do that? And who would you do it with?
Potential.
Now keep in mind, you can network with anybody for any reason. We're talking about employment, right? That's what we're here for now. Dollars, right? So expand on that. In this environment, what's it for? Bam. Networking is what you do every minute of every single day, every opportunity you have, if you're looking for work, right? That means I'm here at Fortune, but I'm here for some, I don't know, some other service that has nothing to do with employment, hypothetically, right? I'm here, for anger management. Okay? But I know that I need a job, and I'm broke, and I don't have too many connections out there for jobs, and we're all in the same class in anger management. Yo, what's up, bro? Yo, I heard you got a job yesterday, man.
Yeah,
How was it? Good?
it's pretty good.
All right, yo, listen,
I
man,
expected.
they got other spots there?
Absolutely.
Yo, let me give you my number, man. Bam. You saw that? Simple. That's a network. He may know somebody at that job willing to hire me. They may not, but I gotta give it a shot, right? In talking to him, what's up, man?
How you doing?
How you doing? In talking to him, I may find out that he knows you, and you know the guy with the jobs. That happens. I actually, in work, had a couple guys graduate the OSHA class, and they were like, Mr. Reese, I heard you got work. And I was like, it's a little slow right now. It's in the middle of COVID, remember? Everything shut down, remember that? All the jobs, we were suffering in here. We couldn't get anybody's job. I went down the hall, and I was talking, who knows Maryland? Okay. Maryland Tank was cool, right?
Yeah.
So, I went down, I spoke to Maryland, and she's like, I was talking about one particular individual. She said, oh yeah, he got a job the other day. I said, what? Where did he get a job? And she's like, oh, this construction company. And she said, yeah, he likes it there, and he invited one of his friends. Boom, I heard that. What do you think I said to myself? If he got a job and invited his friend, and his friend got, that means they're hiring him. Based on word of mouth, right? So I was like, what's the name of the place? Give me the number. I called them up. To this day, I deal with them every day. I send them an email every day with a new candidate, and they've hired like 30 of our guys.
Nice.
And this is maybe in 2 months. Talk to them all the time. Every single person that we've sent them, within a couple hours, they send them an email requesting more information and an interview. Some of them didn't get it, but 90% of them did. Okay? That was what? Network. That was networking. Right? So it does work. It's very important. Every time you have an opportunity, it could be that little sign, and you pass Dunkin' Donuts, and that little sign in the corner, it says help wanted, right? How long you been passing that sign? 7 months you've been passing that sign. And you're like, the sign got dusty, right? It's got the brown like stains on it, like somebody might have dropped the coffee on it, right? Right? And every time you go in there, you're like, yo, you hiring? Nah, we're good. Why you got the sign in the window?
Well, you got the sign, help wanted right there.
But guess what? The 5 times this year that you stopped in and asked Rajneesh if they were hiring, okay? The 5 times, that was a network. You know why? Because he's seen you 5 times asking, and the 1 time that his father-in-law says they need more employees, right? What do you think he's gonna like, yo, they hiring now. Remember, he's gonna tell you the next time you go in for I get the frozen hot chocolate. Whoever have one? Anybody ever have a frozen hot chocolate?
Frozen chocolate.
It's so good.
Yes.
It's so good, but so fattening.
Yes, 'cause I
So
have
anyway,
Coke.
the next time you go in for your frozen hot chocolate, he's like, yo, my friend, they're hiring this time, right?
The chocolate slush.
And you're gonna get it, man. Or you have
I went through that.
you might get it. You might get it, but you have better odds now. And you have a good relationship with the guy. He knows that you're cool. He knows that you're a nice person. He knows that you're trying, that you care, that you're looking for work. He knows a little bit about you, all right? So there's a potential there. Make your references, okay, this is important. When you do speak to your reference and you ask for that little bit of assistance, make sure that they speak to your strengths, right? This is why you're asking them, could I see it first? Remember I said that? Because if you just say, hey, can you do a rep? Yeah, no problem. All right, good. You walk away, they're talking about all kinds of stuff that don't matter to the new employer. Even though it sounds nice, oh, he's a nice person. He's friendly. How the hell, that don't matter to me. That's like basic human common shit that you should be doing anyway, right?
You wanna know what
Being
you
friendly
wanna
and personable.
Yeah,
What I wanna know, Does he know how to use IBM statistical software? Right? Is he punctual? Which he should be anyway, that's a soft skill. Right? What's the difference between a soft skill and a hard skill?
Soft skills are just like skills that, you bring to the table, but hard skills
Okay.
like training.
Okay, give me a soft skill.
Soft skills,
Yeah,
friendly,
friendly. Give me soft skill.
Soft skill, I'm polite.
Polite. You know what a good soft skill is?
Computer.
Not to be on your cell phone when somebody's facilitating the group. Good soft skill. You said he was friendly and personable and acknowledged his wrongdoing.
you know how to work in a group, work with other people.
Yes, soft skill.
Computers.
That's a hard skill.
That's a hard skill, yeah.
Soft skill.
Always on time.
Beautiful. Oh, I love you, man. That's no homo.
Always on time.
That's a good one. That's a good one. That is the big, to me, that is one of the ones. So when you get a job, forget about getting a job. Interview time, right? Day of the interview. You gotta be at the interview at 10 a.m. What are you doing the day before the interview?
Getting ready.
What's that mean, getting prepared?
Get your clothes ready,
Talk
everything.
about it.
You taking your clothes out that you wearing for the next day, make sure they iron. Get your ass in the, excuse my French.
No, you were right. Go
Get
ahead.
your ass in the shower,
Get
wash
your
up,
ass in
get
the
your
shower.
ass in the shower, make sure you nice and fresh for the next day, or whatever the case may be.
Okay.
Sleeping on time.
Okay.
What else? What else should we
You got
consider?
gas in your car to get there, make sure you got your metro.
You ain't got no
card,
car. Bam! There it is. You got your Metro card.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah,
Because what happens, because it's happened to me,
yeah.
I got down to Port Authority, out my bus was 10 minutes late, 15. In that 15-minute time, the lines for the Metro card machine is dramatically different. If my bus comes in, because I live far away, my bus comes in on time, there's nobody at the machine. It's like a ghost town in Port Authority. It's like 5 people walking out. 15 minutes later, there's like 2,000 people. It's the weirdest thing. I swear to you. And then I'm sitting there waiting. Man. This one's 2 old ladies, don't know how to use the machine, they never used anything digital. She's pushing buttons, and it's a touch screen, but she's pushing things on the plastic that's not even buttons. Like, lady, just, yes, to take the receipt, right? And because I waited on that line, I missed, what's the worst train in the city? 456?
Ain't training.
Hey? I'm thinking of 4. The 4, 5, 4, 6. Maybe the 6.
Now I would say the 3, maybe the 3 or the all.
All right, so
maybe the dozen.
let's say it's the 4, it's the 4, the R, right? But guess what?
The green line for real.
Always late,
Who?
right? It's always late. It's always late.
Well, it depends on where you.
My
go.
trains
The
are.
F is late a lot.
The F is always
F
late.
is late.
Oh, yeah, the F is late.
So you're sitting there and the sign says like, the F is coming in 9 minutes, and it's like 16 minutes later, right? And you're like, what the heck happened? And then you hear the, like, you hear the signal.
You see it go, you're like,
Alright, so,
15 more minutes.
get your Metro card the day before. If you've never been to the location, you ain't working, so don't tell me you don't have time.
You gotta leave at
Hey,
8
get your
o'clock.
ass
Go
an
and
extra
do a
hour
dry
early.
run. Go do a dry run, if it's not like crazy, you know. Jump on a train, take a little ride there, scope out the hood, see where it is, where's the deli at? Where's the deli, where's the Lucy's?
You gotta know everything.
Right?
Yeah, Jill,
See,
catch
which
your
way you
location. You have to know your location.
Is there a spot over here I could lock my bike up without it getting stolen? If you got a bike, or, you know, there's a lot of things you can consider.
Carve in.
And it didn't, you know, take a friend, go for a ride, who cares? Right? But you had time to do it. That's the difference between winning and losing, taking the opportunity, right? No matter how small those opportunities are, that's the difference between winners and losers.
Oh,
That's
you
the
gotta
truth.
make sure, where we going to, a job interview?
Yes,
You gotta make sure you put everything you need to take, make sure it's in the bag.
Yeah.
You always forget
have a
something.
bag, have a
ID,
backpack, right?
social,
So you got, what's in your bag, talk to me.
Resume.
Resume, bam, what else?
ID.
Not you, you talk too much.
Feel how heavy my bag is.
Social, IDs.
IDs,
That's supposed to be your
Certificates.
certifications.
I got one pet peeve, right? For those of you who don't know, I'm a resident and I do a lot of other stuff.
Yeah, 'cause you
Right?
look different.
What, cause I look
Yeah,
different?
you
I
got a
put on my
blazer
blazer just for you, Miguel. Cause he says I change 3 times a day. No, I'm not J-Lo, relax. With that being said, if you have a job interview on Monday, right? Don't wait for Monday to go to that job interview. The reason why I say that is because New York City is infamous for track work, right? So if your interview's at 9, you leave your house at 8, you're like, it should take, you did the Google map, it says 30 minutes. Somebody just jumped in front of a train for some reason. Before that, you don't even know how to get there because you've never been there before. So when you get there, you're like, oh, I'm a New Yorker, I'm good. But your Google acting up. So now you spending 20 minutes trying to, where we at, right? Because most of us, if it's not in our hood, we don't know exactly where it is. So I suggest everyone, if you have an interview on Monday, over the weekend, go to that job. So you know what trains to take, and you know what buses run there just in case.
Yeah, no,
right?
it's always
So you're prepared.
Preparation.
That's the only key to success is being prepared. Don't wait for adversity, expect it. And meet it right at the head and say, no, you're not gonna get me, you're gonna get everybody else, but you're not getting me today. Why? Because I'm over here trying to be successful, and I will be successful.
That's right.
So that's my only pet peeve.
And, and I agree, 100%. Because, I had a guy on the phone the other day that was supposed to go on an interview, and he was late. He was late on an interview. Is that excusable?
No, it's not.
Do you think he got the job?
No, he didn't.
Hell no. Right? I come, takes me 2.5 hours to get here. I come from Pennsylvania, 110 miles away. All right? Right on the Delaware River.
Oh, so you just right on the border?
Okay? No, not on the border. I am south.
Oh,
Okay,
you're
I'm very far
south.
south.
You're south field.
All right? I'm not far from Philly.
Oh,
All
wow.
right?
I'm in Philly.
All right? So, I take a bus
To go back home?
every 2 weeks.
Oh.
Cost me $440.
Round trip.
That's without the Metro card. No.
That's
It's-
what?
yeah, round trip.
Oh.
And that's only 3 rides a week. We're not full time yet.
Oh.
So 3 times a week, so 6 trips, $440. Then
That's a low.
Metro card, right?
Round trip. Yeah.
Plus the time for the
Time
subway.
management.
Okay. One of my trips on Fridays, for some reason, they have low ridership, so they canceled one of the buses. There's only 2 in the morning. There's a 5 a.m. and a 6 a.m. They canceled the 6 a.m. So now I have to get up even early, 5 a.m. So I'm here by 7. And I have to sit around and do nothing. So it's horrible. But guess what? I'm on time.
You're on time.
And guess
That's
what?
right.
Guess what? I got paid this week. And last
That's
week.
right.
And more. Right? And I'm gonna continue to get paid because I fucking show up. Okay?
Yeah, keep it
It's
up.
not always about how great of a worker you are. Most of the time it's about showing up.
Individual.
Because the guy that don't show up, I can guarantee you one thing, he ain't getting a paycheck. I am. I'm not the best at my job. There's guys in that room that are better than me. Alright? More power, I learn from them, and I wanna be better, but I'm still getting a paycheck. Alright, because I show up. The references, getting back to the references. Focus on your achievements when you talk to them. Tell me, please, John, from my old job, John, he's my old supervisor. John, do me a favor. When you write the reference, put some good stuff about me, buddy. Please. You don't have to tell them what to write. You don't want to be, man, do me a favor, bro. I really want this job. Tell them the best you can. Do me a favor. Right? Be sincere, man. Don't try to plan. Yo, I swear, bro, I'm gonna buy you dinner and do this if you get. No, be real. Yo, man, listen. I'm screwed. I need work. Please help me. Say something nice about me, okay? And let me know what it is first, so I can check it. What's up?
It's in a nutshell, man. It's to put down whatever you do. You know what I'm saying? Whatever I do is gonna be on
This is
paper.
what you do, what you do well.
What I do is like I work with this gentleman. It's like I've been there for the last week. It's like they don't even want to let me go now, but I gotta leave. Why? Because I'm networking, as he said. I haven't stopped, man, since I've been home since November. I haven't slept yet, put it like that. But I've been bumping and grinding. I've been doing everything I'm supposed to be doing. Mind you, I said doing. I'm not trying. I'm not giving it an effort. You know what I'm saying? I'm not giving it an opportunity. I did everything I was supposed to do. I did so much. I was doing so extra that they was having meetings about me and how I was doing it. I said, I don't know how I'm doing it, but I'm gonna continue to do it. And I did it, I completed everything upstairs, everything down here, and I'm still here. I went for a job interview on Monday, I got it. Chris just hooked me up with something else, I'ma get it,
I like
I'ma
that.
get it.
I like that.
I need
And
that.
see, you see the drive and the ambition, right?
I need that.
We, and this is gonna happen when you guys, you've been here a while in Fortune, right? I'm more than happy to write a reference for you. Right? But you gotta show me something. You gotta show me something, right? Because they're gonna you've been with Fortune for a sizable amount of time. We know you, right? We know a little bit about your history, and where you wanna be, where you've been, what your skills are, right? What your strengths are, what your weaknesses are. So we're a pretty good judge of character in that sense. And a lot of people may just be coming home, so you burn bridges, or you don't have quite, I know before, when I first came home, I had nobody. I had my parents, right? But they can't be my judge. They can be my work reference. So I had to kind of like reestablish myself and reestablish that Fortune to be there for you.
I mean, how often does it happen, you think, that you do something like that because someone has anything else for a reference, and then, if it's not a program that you refer us to, if we find the job on our own,
So
like, how helpful is it really to have something saying that you're in a drug and alcohol treatment program and that you might
it
be
doesn't have
trying
to
to
say
see?
you're in a drug and alcohol treatment program.
But if you have someone at Fortune Society,
Usually, what I'll do is I'll claim that you did an internship, which is basically working.
Yeah, that's always the best.
Yeah, but
So-
each entity is different, so,
Right,
just
each-
because you in Fortune, like I said, I did it upstairs, I completed everything. My DV, my outpatient, my AT, I did everything. So when they gave me the reference right here, no lie, it didn't say nothing about no drugs or anything like that, it only pertains
It
to
talked
what
about
you're
the
doing, your
positive things, so
employment.
you
That's all.
also,
It doesn't
if you
say
did a workshop, right? Say you did the SS11 workshop, that's going on your resume. And then what we could do is, in terms of a reference, say, Lino was your instructor, Lino can write some nice words about you. He's
Employment
well
services.
respected.
Employment
Right, or
services.
somebody from
Everything's
employment
through
services
employment
that's worked with you for 6 months, and you did another workshop, and you did your hard skills, and did your regular workshop. We're gonna get to know you, and we're gonna work towards helping you and making sure that that resume is the very best thing we can, alright? I just wanna get back to the references again. Internal references, what do I mean by an internal reference? Okay, so say,
What about?
okay, say I'm going for a job at Fortune, the very best reference that I can get is from within Fortune, right? But, what if I don't know it? What do I do?
Can't get out. Yeah, you have to start networking.
What do you say?
Get to know people.
How would I do it? Give me an example. Somebody give me think about it. Give me a good example. If I don't know anybody at Fortune, how could I get a good reference from somebody in
Communication.
How? Well, give me an example.
Open up, start talking to them.
Go to the front desk and apply.
Apply, right?
I'll show you
Inquire,
You can't just
find
come
out
in
what
and talk to
services or
somebody.
resources they have to offer. Maybe I don't need the job readiness class, right? But I need a job. And I think I'm polished. I know how to write a resume, right? Went to college, I got a degree, an associate's degree or something, right? Or I took a welding class and I have a certification for welding. I don't need job readiness, do I? Maybe I do, because I'm not working. So maybe it's worth it to take the 3 weeks, the 3-week class, and learn something, right? You have a 3-week job readiness class.
It's always worth it, especially here,
So-
it's always worth it, cause
So,
you get
so
somebody
at the
end of
very
day.
least, get to know people, let them help you steer, and kind of find that direction, that path for you, because everybody here has got a different path. So let's utilize people, utilize the resources, tap into the resources that are available to you, and that person becomes your reference. Who wrote Marilyn Tanko?
Marilyn.
Those people, is Marilyn cool?
Yeah.
Okay, you think Marilyn at some point would be willing to help you with a reference? Yes? No?
She wouldn't have any
Yes.
problem with it.
Okay,
Yeah, she won't have no
this is what I'm
problem.
saying. Who thinks that I'd be willing to give anybody in this room right now a reference?
I believe so.
You believe I would?
definitely give it.
Yes,
What would be the condition?
you gotta.
gotta earn it,
Gotta get to know me.
gotta get to know.
You earn your
You gotta prove you want, right? And I gotta be a part of what you're going through. we'll work on it together. Anybody in this facility, this organization, is gonna be willing to do that, if you put forth the effort. But I can't do it for you. You gotta do it for yourself. And once I see you're doing your thing, I'm right on board, man. I've stayed late and come early for people. They get paid extra for it, you know? I've gone across the street, bought lunches, you know what I'm saying? Put people out, help people.
Yeah, the $6 plates is efficient too. I'm not gonna lie, yo, you go up the block, $6, yo, you get yourself good.
Who wants to take a break?
Frito, yo.
Yeah, I mean,
You guys normally get a 15, right?
Yeah.
So how about in 3 minutes, I'm gonna let you go, because we're only gonna, you're done at 2,
What time is it?
so you'll just,
What time is
it's
it?
quarter of.
quarter
2,
two.
so
Quarter
that'll
to
be
two.
a 15 minute, you'll just leave early, so
That's
let's
what
just
he said,
finish it.
yeah.
We'll finish it real quick. References, the last thing on references I wanna share is that always keep them, print them, keep them in a file. Never would hurt to have that to show somebody in the future. Hey, look at this, all these references I've had in the future. I'm gonna utilize so-and-so today, but I just want you to be aware I have many good references. You know, and it's good to keep them, shows like the progress, but update them. Oh, ooh, this one's really, you know, I used to be into maintenance, but I just got my OSHA, so now I'm into construction, so I don't really need maintenance references, I need new OSHA ones. So that one you could eliminate maybe.
No,
Right?
sometimes it works.
Right,
both
no,
the
I'm just
same.
giving one example.
Oh, okay.
Things are transferable,
My bad.
right? I get that. But it's like, if you're focused on something completely different or a different pathway, that one may not be as important. Doesn't mean you have to get rid of it, but you may want to develop some new ones geared towards what you're going for, right? Now I'm just gonna open up, who's got any questions about anything that I can answer? I'm gonna share something with you. I'm gonna share something with you. You go on a job interview, and the director or the CEO of the organization says, "Have any questions for me?" What are you gonna say? If that was the response, every single one of you be on the unemployment line. Why do you think he asked that question?
He wants to know how much you know about.
He wants to know, maybe what you know, did you research the company? What's the real underlying reason?
You wanna get a feel of who he's getting ready to employ.
If you don't have no questions, then you're not really interested.
Yeah.
You're not really invested, or you weren't listening, or you don't care about what I had to say, because you should have a question. You should have some question. You shouldn't be embarrassed to ask it, there's no stupid questions, we don't know that. But somebody in here should have some question.
Okay, so do we wait, I know this was gonna be a stupid question. Not a stupid question, but maybe I don't want to be too greedy. But when we get paid? 2 weeks, if we do the 2 weeks, no, because other places different, you know, like my last job,
Okay?
they told, you know how you have to wait 2 weeks
This is a
and then
good
you get
question,
paid?
that's not a bad question.
You know how you wait
The
2 weeks
question
and
I
they
like
get
to
paid?
ask-
Well, this one is not like that, this one, you wait 2 weeks and get paid, but you don't get paid this one until the
Right,
next one,
right,
so
you
like
get paid.
after, yeah, so when you leave that job, you always have.
Because the pay
So
date
how is
range
this one over
changes.
here?
I don't know.
Uh,
I don't handle that, so I don't
You
know.
said it was no stupid question.
You'd have to ask the person, you'd have to ask Rondell, she'll know.
Alright, after the 10 weeks is over, right?
Yeah.
Do you stay at the job that you're working at, or do you have to go on more interviews?
Sometimes you can stay at the job you're working at,
Yeah.
if you made a really good impression. Not always, nobody can guarantee that, but the minute you're done with it, you'll come and see us, and we'll work on getting you something. We'll probably talk to you a week or two before you're done, and start the process, because sometimes it takes a week or two to paperwork and to get you hired.
Yeah.
And maybe by the time you're done with one, you could jump right into the next one.
Alright.
Any other questions?
So, am I getting hired for this position because it's a brand new position? Or is it that I'm replacing somebody that you had just recently laid off?
It's a good question, right? It's an interesting question. You're gonna answer it quick,
I
right?
didn't hear you ask
That's
me a
not, there's
question.
nothing wrong with
Excuse
that.
me for a minute.
You got it. Another really good question is like, you know, where do you see maybe like this organization or this company? Where do you see this company in 5 years, right?
Oh, yeah, that's
They always
what I'm
ask you,
saying.
where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Yeah,
Oh,
what
let's
if
see
we
this
get a
company.
good
Why are you asking
job
that
and then they
question?
close this
Why would you
down?
ask that?
Where we
You wanna
going
know if
after
the
this?
job has-
I wanna know, not really, I don't
We
really
still
care.
get to use y'all
Right?
facilities
I may not really
around
care
here,
where
so-
this, but all I know is that I'm showing enough of an interest that he's thinking, I'm looking for a job that has longevity, right? I'm showing I'm in for the long haul by saying, you know, 5, 10 years from now, what do you plan to do? Another good question, how did you get to the position you're at, sir, or ma'am, right? How did you become the boss, or the director, or the executive officer? How'd you get there?
That's not too bold.
No, I wanna know that shit. And I love when it's a story about,
Yeah,
hey, I came in one day
like-
to get the job that you're going for in the warehouse, right? I came in, worked the warehouse for 10 years, and then I worked administrative for 3, and then they made me a director,
Yeah, 15
right?
years.
Those are cool stories, because that dude, that woman, they see that in you, they believe to hire from within, they're gonna recognize you for your strengths, right? All right, get out of here, everybody.
Yeah.